The night was silent when Anita came into the world. The wind didn't blow, the stars hid behind the clouds. It was as if the heavens were mourning before anything even happened. Her mother, Mama Ijeoma, held her baby close for only a few minutes. Then her breathing slowed and stopped. "She's gone," the nurse whispered. The baby cried loudly, as if she already knew her journey would be filled with pain. Anita's father, Papa Chucks, loved her dearly. He fed her milk with shaking hands and sang to her every night. But when Anita turned 3, sadness struck again. One morning Papa Chucks didn't wake up. His eyes stayed closed. The neighbors said it was stroke. Others whispered his heart broke after losing his wife. So the little girl was left alone in the world. The village elders called a meeting. "Who will take this child?" they asked. People turned their heads away. No one wanted more mouths to feed. But then a woman stepped forward. Her name was Abini. She was tall with sharp eyes that never smiled. She had a daughter of her own named Esther, the same age as Anita. "I'll take her," Abini said, her voice flat like dry yam. Everyone clapped and called her a good woman, but Anita, even at 3, felt cold in Abini's arms. Abini's house had 2 rules. Esther gets everything, Anita gets nothing. While Esther wore new clothes, Anita wore Esther's torn ones. While Esther ate chicken, Anita ate bones. "Wake up," Abini would shout before the sun even rose. "Go fetch water." Anita ran with a big yellow container on her small head. She cooked, swept, washed and cleaned. She called Abini Mummy, but Abini never called her daughter. "Only you." "Why can't you be like Esther?" Abini often shouted. Esther, meanwhile, grew proud and mean. "You're just a house girl," she would say, laughing while Anita scrubbed the floor. But Anita never shouted back. She held her pain inside, like a quiet flame. Years passed. Anita grew. She was now 21. Her face, though often tired, was soft and beautiful. Her skin glowed like early morning sun. Her eyes sparkled with quiet strength. Esther noticed it first. "Why are boys looking at you?" Esther asked one day, frowning. Anita kept her head down. "I don't know." But the village was already talking. "Have you seen how that girl, Anita, has grown?" Old women whispered at the market. "She's even finer than Esther." This made Abini angry. She watched Anita with fire in her eyes. "She wants to steal Esther's future," Abini hissed one night. One morning, Abini came into the room Anita shared with Esther. Her face was stiff. "You're getting married next week," she said. Anita dropped her bucket. Married? To who?" "To a man named James. He lives on the edge of the village." Esther smirked. Anita had heard of James. Everyone called him the cursed one. His skin was full of bumps and dark patches. He never came out during the day. "Why me?" Anita whispered, tears filling her eyes. "Because your beauty is causing problems," Abini snapped. "You should be grateful someone wants you at all." On the day of the wedding, drums played, but the villagers didn't dance. They whispered and laughed behind Anita's back. "See how beauty ends," one man chuckled. "She thought she was better than Esther," another woman said. "Now look." Esther wore a shiny dress and stood proudly beside her mother. As Anita stood before James, her hands shaking, Esther leaned close and whispered, "You will rot in that man's house." Anita didn't cry. She didn't shout. She simply stood still, with her heart breaking quietly inside. Then she said 2 words that shocked everyone. "I do." The wedding was over. The drums had stopped. The laughter of the villagers still echoed in Anita's ears as she sat behind James on his old rusty bicycle. They passed through bush paths and crossed a broken bridge. No one waved at them. No one followed. Finally, they reached a small mud house with a leaking roof and one wooden chair outside. That was James' home. "You can go inside," he said softly. His voice was calm, not rough like she expected. Anita looked at him for the first time. His face was full of scars and dark spots. One eye seemed swollen, but his eyes were gentle. She entered the house. There was no bed, just a mat on the floor. The kitchen had one small pot and a tin of salt. Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. She remembered Abeni's words, "You should be grateful someone wants you." Days passed slowly. James left early each morning to cut wood in the forest. Anita stayed behind, cleaning, fetching water, cooking whatever food they could find. James never shouted at her. He didn't touch her. He simply said, "Thank you," each night before they slept on opposite sides of the mat. One evening, Anita asked, "Why did you agree to marry me?" James was quiet. Then he said, "They said you needed a husband. I needed peace. I thought maybe we could give each other something." Anita stared at him. She didn't know what to say. One rainy night, James didn't return at his usual time. Hours passed. The rain poured heavily. Anita ran outside with a palm leaf over her head, searching. She found him near the forest edge, holding his leg in pain. "You're hurt," she cried. "I slipped," he groaned. Anita helped him home, her dress soaked, her feet muddy. She cleaned his wound with warm water and wrapped it with an old cloth. "Thank you," James whispered. "You'd do the same," she replied. He looked at her then, really looked. "You're not like the others. And you're not the monster they say you are." Weeks turned into months. Anita started selling firewood in the market while James healed. People still whispered, but Anita ignored them. For the first time in her life, she laughed, real laughter, when James told her silly stories at night. One morning he said, "Let's go to the city. We can start fresh." "The city?" she asked, eyes wide. "Yes. I can be a bricklayer. You can fry a kara. We can build something new, together." Anita thought of the pain in Abeni's house, the fake smiles, the hunger for love. Then she nodded. "Yes, let's go." The city was nothing like the village. It was noisy, crowded, and smelled of dust and smoke. They built a small wooden shack beside a dump site. Every morning, Anita set up a small akara stand. The oil burned her fingers. Her eyes watered from the smoke. James worked on construction sites under the hot sun, carrying blocks until his back ached. They had little, but every night they sat close, shared boiled corn and smiled. One evening, James said, "You make this place feel like home." Anita smiled. "You made me feel like someone for the first time." But peace doesn't last forever. One morning, James didn't wake up. His body was hot. His breath was shallow. "James, James, wake up," Anita shouted. She ran barefoot through the busy streets to find medicine. People pushed her, cursed at her, but she didn't stop. She came back, panting, with medicine in hand. But outside their shack, there was a stranger in a fine black suit. 3 cars with tinted windows waited behind him. "Who are you?" Anita asked, confused. The man turned around and smiled. "Anita, it's me. I'm James." Her hands went cold. "What?" Anita stood frozen. The stranger before her had smooth chocolate-brown skin. No scars, no spots. His clothes were clean, his shoes shining like mirrors. But the eyes, they were the same, kind, quiet, familiar. "James?" she whispered. He nodded. "Yes, it's me." Her legs shook. The medicine dropped from her hand and rolled into the dust. "No," she said, stepping back. "No, James is sick. Poor. He has... James stepped closer. Those were fake. The illness, the scars, all of it. Anita's heart thudded in her chest. "Why would you lie to me? Why?" James looked down, like a child caught stealing. "I wore a mask," he said softly, "because I was tired of gold diggers. All my life, women only wanted my money, not me. So I disappeared. I became the man no one wanted, to see who would love me for real." Anita's eyes filled with tears. "So you tested me? My pain was your game?" "No," he said quickly. "It wasn't a game. I didn't expect to feel this way. You changed me." Anita shook her head. "But I loved you. Even when you had nothing, even when I had every reason to hate you, I chose you." "I know," he whispered, voice trembling, "and that's why I'm telling you the truth now. You passed the test. You passed it with more dignity than anyone I've ever known." Anita sat on a stone and cried, not because of the cars or the lies. She cried because her heart didn't know what to believe anymore. "You should have told me," she said, wiping her face, "before I gave you my heart." "I was afraid," he replied, "afraid that if you knew, you would change." Anita laughed bitterly. "So I married a lie. James went on his knees in the dust. The rich man was now begging the village girl. You married the truth inside the lie, and I am not asking for your forgiveness now. I'm asking for your time. Take the space you need. I'll wait. Then he left. He didn't force her into a car. He didn't wave his money in her face. He just walked away. The days that followed were quiet. Anita didn't sell a kara. She didn't sweep. She just sat, thinking. Every night James sent food. Every morning a car came to check if she needed anything. She never said a word. Her neighbors whispered, "He's rich." The man with the rashes, "She's lucky." But Anita didn't feel lucky. She felt torn. Then one evening she remembered something. Benny's house, the hunger, the beatings, the shame. And James, he never raised his voice. He never hit her. He gave her respect when she had nothing. He stood beside her when no one else did. That night she walked to the gate of the fine house James now stayed in. The security man opened the door. James came out in a plain shirt, looking like the man she first met. No mask, no lies. "I don't love your money," she said, "but I think I still love you." James didn't speak. He just held her, tight, gentle, and full of peace. Weeks passed. They got married again, this time in truth. No mocking, no whispers, only joy. Photos spread like wildfire. "Anita, wife of a billionaire," the village market women screamed. Back in the village, Benny and Esther were speechless. "Is this the same girl?" Benny gasped, holding a newspaper. Esther's mouth hung open. "But he was ugly." "Poor." Jealousy boiled like hot oil. "We must visit her," Benny said, already scheming. "Maybe she will remember the ones who raised her." Esther smiled. "Yes, she won't turn us away, will she?" The sun was hot over the village when Benny packed her worn-out handbag and told the neighbors, "We're going to the city. Our daughter is married to a billionaire." Esther wore a tight red dress and high heels that clicked loudly on the dusty road. "I hope she gives me an iPhone," she said, checking herself in a broken mirror. Benny laughed. "She owes us. We raised her, didn't we? We suffered for her." But they didn't remember the cold slaps, the torn clothes, or the nights Anita cried herself to sleep. No, they remembered only the money now. In the city, the cars were fast, the buildings tall, and the people busy. Benny and Esther stood in front of a large black gate, mouths wide open. "Is this a house or a hotel?" Esther asked. A uniformed guard stepped forward. "Yes? Who are you looking for?" Benny cleared her throat. "Tell Anita her mother is here." "Family." The guard looked confused, then picked up his phone. Inside, Anita sat in the garden reading a book. The wind blew softly through her hair. "Madam," the guard said, "there are 2 women at the gate. They say they're family." Anita's smile faded. Her heart skipped. "Let them in," she said calmly. The gate opened. Benny and Esther walked in, their eyes dancing across the flowers, the marble walls, the swimming pool. "Ewo," Benny gasped. "So this is how you are living?" Anita stood quietly. She wore a simple Ankara dress, no makeup, but she looked like a queen. "Good afternoon," she said, her voice cool. Esther rushed forward. "Anita, my sister. You've changed, oh. See beauty." Anita didn't hug her. "I didn't know we were sisters." Benny stepped in, forcing a smile. "Anita, my daughter, I always knew you would make it. You were special from the start." Anita blinked. "You called me useless more times than you called me by name." Benny laughed nervously. You know how African mothers are. It was tough love." Anita nodded slowly. "Then you must be tired. Come, sit." She led them to the sitting room, a large space with soft couches, air conditioner humming. Esther threw herself onto the chair like she owned it. "This chair is softer than my bed," she said. James walked in. He wore a simple shirt, yet looked powerful. Benny stood up quickly. Our in-law. Fine man. God bless you for marrying our daughter." James gave a small nod. "Good afternoon." An awkward silence filled the room. Then Anita spoke. "Why are you here?" Benny blinked. "To see our child. Is that a crime?" Esther added, "And maybe spend a few days." Anita stood. You never came to see me when I was selling Akara beside the dump site. Not once. But now you're here because of what? Abeni stammered. Don't be ungrateful. We gave you a roof. Anita's eyes flashed. You gave me pain. But pain taught me how to stand. James stepped beside her. We've been kind. We've welcomed you. But please, this is our peace. Don't bring your noise here. Esther jumped up. So you're throwing us out? Anita walked to the door and opened it. I'm giving you the same freedom you gave me when I had nowhere to go. Abeni's face twisted with shock. You will regret this, Anita smiled. I already regretted staying silent for too long. The guard gently walked them to the gate. As the big door shut behind them, Esther threw her heels on the ground. Can you believe this? She screamed. She thinks she's better than us. Abeni was quiet. Her heart was burning with shame. But Anita, she stood by the window watching them walk away. And for the first time in her life, she felt free. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We would love you to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.